Week 3, EDL, doubleheaders in the books. How we doing, everybody? Dan, nice to see you again, friend.
Yeah, good to see you, Nate.
We got a big show today, or a big recap, a lot of things going on. Looking back at the doubleheader week 3, we had 4 teams going into the week with a 2-0 record. We also had 4 teams with a 0-2 record. None of those teams, we don't have any undefeated teams anymore, Dan. And we still have 2 teams yet to get a win. So that gives us 6 teams, 2 from each division, at a 3-1 record, all jockeying for division, or all jockeying for position within their division. It's a fun time in the EDL. A fun time. We got bye weeks now coming up. Gonna test each team's depth a little bit. You know, see maybe those top teams, what's gonna shake out in the following weeks. We're gonna talk. Let's see, DZ. We're gonna talk a little bit about what we saw in week 3. We're gonna do a little house cleaning, then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this show, which is the recaps and the previews. Last week, we saw a highest score of the year. Seward with a 307. Congratulations, 300-point club, another member. That gives him the 16th highest score we've seen in the EDL so far. So, Seward, you're down here somewhere on the list. Oh, actually, you didn't make the top 10 list. You got close, but you're the highest this year for this score. Also, we had some pretty big scores for players. We had Russell Wilson, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, and Alvin Kamara all putting up over 40. All 4 of those reaching in the top 10 scores of last week. Pretty impressive. Also last week, DZ, we had a couple trades that just happened. We recapped. We talked a little bit about your trade, so maybe I thought we could talk about the 2 that just happened. And maybe give analyst or just some thoughts. We had myself and Pete involved in a trade, and then Pete and Robbie. So Pete is wheeling and dealing. He's 3-1, gaining some talent. What's up? Go ahead.
Did you forget about my trade with Pete?
Oh, Danny Dimes?
Danny Dimes. On the move.
Let me pull him up. Well, let's start there. You traded away Danny Dimes, right?
Yes, sir.
Traded away Danny Dimes and a 3rd-round pick? No, you got a 3rd.
No. I traded away a 3rd.
And then you got Baker.
Baker Mayfield, yes.
So what was your thoughts on that? You selling high on Danny Dimes, or?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to give up on Baker after 3 games. Too much talent around him. I like him. I liked him before the season. I wanted to get him from Tito. Pete beat me to the punch. So, I'm not going to argue with Pete when he wants to take Daniel Jones off my hand after 1 good week. I'm good with that.
Baker
it's a profit.
Mayfield. Okay. Who's your other quarterback? I forget.
I got a bunch now. I got Darnold. I got Goff. I got Roethlisberger.
So just shaking out.
So I went from a pretty bad situation to probably too many QBs.
That 3rd was in the future too. I'm trying to think of if I want
to. Yeah. 2022.
If I want to get a win or a loss for this trade, but I kind of feel like it's somewhat lateral of a move. It's just kind of your preference. So I guess you picked Baker, which I can't argue that. All right, let's go to the next trade on the books. We have a big one. We have a doozy. Myself and Pete. Todd Gurley on the move. Actually, we haven't discussed this at all between me and you, which is weird because I feel like we would at least talked about it. But I gave up Todd Gurley. I gave up a lot.
We talked about it a little bit. The next day or yesterday.
I gave up Todd Gurley, Matt Ryan, Wayne Gallman, Marvin Jones, a 3rd-round pick in 2021, so not this year but the next year, and $40 in blind bidding. So obviously the marquee name would be Todd Gurley. Pete gave up a 1st this year, a 1st in 2022, so that's a little ways out. TJ Hawkinson, Mike Williams, and Deontay Johnson. Now, obviously, with my start being 0-4, there is a little bit of a rebuild thought here. How'd I do? I guess how'd I do, DZ? Do you think this is an appropriate trade? Do you think I won? Do you think I lost? Do you think I gave up too much with Gurley?
Hey, real quick, are the 5-year plan jokes, are they over? Are they done?
For who? Me or?
Yeah, for you. For you. The rebuild jokes, I mean, it's over with, right?
I had a good. I
Nate,
mean,
Nate the Great's going into rebuild. You cannot make the 5-year plan jokes. You cannot make the rebuild jokes. You tried. You tried to patch together, Nate. And honestly, we talked about this, me, you, and Pete. This is a good trade for you, man. This is what you needed to do. Uh, Honestly, Pete pays you pretty good money for what we still don't know what's going on with Gurley. Obviously, not as good as like last year's, early last year's Gurley value, but he gave you good value. You got some nice pieces, and now you just got to just sell the farm.
I got T.J. Hawkinson. I think there's a pretty good argument that he probably should have been a first-round pick this last year. When you look at some of the guys in the first round, Isabella, maybe even Paris Campbell. I took
Hakeem Butler was Hakeem Butler first rounder.
He was second.
Oh, okay.
But still, I think there's a pretty good argument that he could have been a first-round pick. I got air quotes going on. Mike
You could have had him
former first-round pick. And then Deontay Johnson, he's kind of getting a little run. You know, I think I'm hoping I got value. We'll see. But yeah, I guess the yard sale has started. I've already kind of talked a little bit with some people with some Marlon Mack. It hurts my Colts. If I'm selling my Colts, it hurts. Ty, pretty much everyone's on the block but Tyreek. So,
well, I mean, if you're selling Marlon Mack, it's definitely a 5-year plan, right? I mean, the kid's still young, right?
23.
23.
He just has value. I got to trade what I have for value, right? I can't. If I don't have a ton of assets, so I got to get rid of what will gain me the most. There's 6 3-1 teams, DZ. Someone's coming.
Yeah.
And then the last trade, Pete gave away Marvin Jones, who I just gave to him to Robbie. Robbie's trying to get a little better. Robbie's 3-1, adding some receiver talent. But what did Robbie give up? A second-round pick and $5 second-round pick in 2 years for Marvin Jones? Good move?
Yeah, good trade, man. I mean, Robbie's finally putting it together. It's just, that window's opening up to get out of the toilet bowl rut. You got to go out and make moves.
You can thank for that's Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
That changed the game for Robbie's team. What else do you want to talk about before we get into it? There's power rankings. I just wanted to note we talked about – I see a lot of you guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in between 28 points and 30 points on the power rankings. So 5 of you guys real close. And then another grouping here. We got 4 more in between 25 and 26. Not too far behind the top. So we got 9 teams looking pretty damn good right now. And then the bottom 3, myself, Matt, and Jerome, where it's a tough life for us. A little bit of house cleaning stuff, and then we'll get on to the recaps. Salary adjustments have been made for those trades that were done. Any salary stuff is done and taken care of. Blind bidding included that just happened. All contracts have been updated, so I believe all contracts are good on everybody's team. I'm going to put in the roster details one of these days, like with everyone's picks. Eventually, I know I've got a text on that. If those are going to be put onto the rosters, they will. Penalties are still need to be updated. If by chance you get somebody you pick on your team that was on a previous team and he still got his contract, just let me know that happened to Rupp, and I'll get that adjusted. And I can easily go back and see guys that have been dropped and on other teams. Whatnot. It's easy to track to see as far as the penalties go. DZ, do you have any house cleaning agenda nonsense?
Yeah, I just had a couple people come to me. The site's kind of being kind of funky, maybe on the phone. I don't know if it's just the phone or on PC or whatever, but just I'm warning everybody right now, please be careful. If you're going to make a change in your lineup, go to live scoring. Make sure the change did go through. Your pick'ems, same thing. Make sure your pick'ems are completely in, and just be careful out there. I've heard people have been giving me some complaints. There's not much we can do. It's probably the best site. Honestly, it's the best site for what we're doing here. So we can't just go up and move from this site, but just make sure you're double checking any move you make on the site.
Yeah. Talking about the points, we got the confidence points. A lot of people still at the top. Chris Anderson has taken over the lead there. Pretty tight race. A lot of people still involved. Few people have bowed out. Survivor pool. We had the Seahawks let Tito down. The only person in Survivor that got knocked out this week. Get those done.
Ouch.
Let's talk some week 3, DZ. Now
Let's get into it.
there's a lot of games to go over here, so we're gonna kind of do it a little bit differently. We'll just talk about. We got to do some respect stuff too. Give me some respect. So if someone earn your respect, DZ.
Oh yeah, I actually got an answer for this one. Everybody but me and you, Nate. Everybody showed up real nice for week 3 doubleheaders. Me and you kind of shit the bed on this one. Luckily for me, I was playing you in one of those matchups.
Yeah, that's what I have the note down on yours is you caught a break, but we'll get to that.
Yes, sir.
My respect, we rag on him. We like to rag on him. He's OG, but Seward, 307. You got to give him some respect. 300-point club, high points, doubleheader high points. That's big time. That's big time
Seward.
stuff.
Seward, good job.
That's who we're gonna start out with too.
He ain't watching this shit.
Probably not. Is Seward? He dropped 307. He went 2-0 this week. We're gonna go division by division. Is how we're gonna look at each team.
That's
so
fine.
I'm gonna look for Seward's matchups here. Give me his studs or give me his pay dirt. I want to know who got his pay dirt first. Because goddamn,
this is super tough here, but I'm going with Mike Evans. I mean, the guy combined for 14.9 in weeks 1 and 2. This week, an explosion, 45 points. Much to the chagrin of my guys, they got Evans left Godwin and Howard out on the party and just did it all for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, Evans killed it. All right, who is his dud? I'm pulling up his stuff here. He's got his offense, his receivers up. Look just glorious. Still messed up the quarterback situation.
Well, that's where I'm going. I'm going Kirk Cousins here. This is ridiculous. I mean, get Kyler in the lineup. Kirk Cousins let him down 3 weeks in a row. He's not – I mean, he did have to go against the Packers, but we're not talking about world-beater defenses here. He went against the Oakland Raiders, Nate. 14.4 ain't going to get it done.
All right, so you had Seward with the 2-0, dropping the 307. He went against Edwards, who put up a respectable 250, and then yourself, who was second low points, 214. Not the greatest week from you, DZ, but Seward 2-0, good work. We're going to Edwards here, which we just kind of talked about a little bit. Edwards went 1-1 this week. His one loss was to Seward, but his win was over Rupp in a 252-240 matchup. Give me your pay dirt for Edwards. Who was the guy that got it done?
Right. I watched Thursday Night Football, man, and I thoroughly enjoyed Calais Campbell's effort in this one. What a great player, Nate. This guy is huge, 6'8", 340 pounds, just beasting out there, 3 sacks, 31.9 points for Edwards. Huge Thursday night come up for Edwards.
Yes, that's a big 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Calais, I didn't even realize he put up 31. Oh, look at this. I'll screwed up this whole thing, trying to make it easier. All right. Give me your Joe Dirt.
Oh, this one I will do with the biggest smile on my face, Edwards. Sony Michel right here. Again, listen, Nate, this guy got 8.9 points. Not too bad, but he had a touchdown in this game, bro. How do you score 8.9 and score a touchdown? It's almost impossible. Sony Michel figured out how to do it. 9 carries, 11 yards. This guy's trash. Go Ronald Jones.
Go Ronald Jones. Oh, that's funny. So Edwards 1-1 on the week. Ran into a buzzsaw that was Chris Seward, but still 250 was a solid score. We're going to move on to Birdman, Chris Anderson here. Started out the year 2-0, and then after the doubleheader, he finds a 0-2 week. Tough for him. Let's start out with the Joe Dirt for Chris Anderson.
You know what, Nate? This, since you're not going to win too many games this year, I'm going to give you a dub right here. I'm going A.J. Brown, and I remember there was a lot of talk. He was kind of dissed on you from Marquise Brown, and he ended up taking the guy who might be a bigger dud in A.J. Brown, 1.4. After a pretty good week 1, he called him right up, and he's giving him 5.5 to 1.4. Welcome to the world of owning a receiver that plays with Mariota.
That's a tough week. Give me his pay dirt.
This one's simple. Anyone can figure this one out, even you, Nate.
Yep.
This is Russell Wilson, 46 point, 40, 46.5 points, 406 yards passing for Jerome over there. 50 passing attempts in this one. Only player on Birdman's team to get over 20 points.
He ran into Casey this week. Casey had a real nice score, and then also lost to Matt, which we'll get to in a minute. But 0-2, tough doubleheader week for Chris. We'll see if he can bounce back a little bit. And then we got Casey. Casey put up a respectable score. Just brought that up here against Birdman. Casey put up 279.4, but had a heartbreaker. Heartbreaker to Robbie. Lost to Robbie.
Monday Night Magic.
Just by a
At
few.
its finest.
Give me your thoughts on Casey's week. Give me his pay dirt.
Pay dirt is simple. Normally, like, you wouldn't expect Casey to do this, but he actually might have pulled off the gem in UFA, and he got Darren Waller for about $7 bucks. Darren Waller's looking real nice, double digits in the first two games, and this one he exploded. 13 catches, 134 yards for 27.3 points. This is kind of the opposite of Sonny Michel. He didn't score a touchdown and dropped 27.3 points. Very impressive. I like what Waller's bringing moving forward.
Yeah, Waller's been a nice player so far. And who's his Joe Dirt?
Man. And, I would love to hear Chris Jerome, get into the chat group and talk to me. Tell me what's going on here. Duke Johnson, man. 4.8. We thought, like, yeah, he's out of Cleveland. He's like, AB, I'm free. Well, we ain't seeing that. And Carlos Hyde, the bummiest of bums, is taking all his touches. Dukes went from 13 touches to 6, now to 4 in a game where the Texans were down. And you would argue that would be a positive script for Duke Johnson.
Casey owns Carlos Hyde too. Maybe it's time he makes that switch. Who's riding the bench? It's not like Carlos Hyde had a huge game, only 9.9 points, but it might be time to make that little switch there. Casey 1-1, good week. Yeah, I feel like he's probably caught the worst amount of luck so far to start the year.
That's a heartbreaker against Robbie. We'll get to that later, though.
All right, let's move on to the next division. We got Pete sitting at the top, going 2-0. He was against.
I think Matt.
Yeah, here's a Matt. Pete put up 251.5.
Matt and Jerome. Who probably had their best weeks of the year, and I was calling them cupcakes. So I'll own that one. All
right, Pete 251.5 got over Matt by about 25 points. Give me your stud for Pete. Your pay dirt.
Philip Lindsay. I mean, really, the whole Denver backfield. Philip Lindsay gets 33.2 points here. And I think the beautiful thing we look at it right now is at least Lindsay and Freeman, they're the ones that are dominating that backfield. Booker's not even not even mentioned in here. He had 16 snaps on Sunday, Nate. Guess how many were on offense?
How many?
0. So this guy's not even affecting the pass catching, which we saw with Lindsay. He caught 49 receiving yards on Sunday.
Give me his Joe Dirt.
Same game, man. Devontae Adams. This guy ended up scoring. This is horrible. I thought he was going to be the number 1 receiver this year. 9.6, Nate. Guess what his worst game was last year?
What?
16 points last year. He's got 2 games under double digits, and his other game, he did score 17.1. Not a great start for Devontae Adams, but if you guys are in redraft leagues, if I was you guys, I would be buying on this guy hard. He's got to come up. This is ridiculous.
2-0, Pete. Gotta get you 3-1 now. Doubleheaders worked out for you. Good week. Moving on to Tito. I had 2 your welcomes to hand out. Tito, you get one of them. I matched up against me, low points, so he got a little dub there. And then his other one was to, I think, Rupp. Am I remembering that right? Yes, he lost her up 231.7 to 240. Pretty close game there. Give me Tito's pay dirt.
I could give it to Mahomes every week. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I think Mahomes is above this award. So we're going to go Sterling Shepard here. Took a week off, came back, and no more Eli. And he blew up 27.5. Feasted on a Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense, and he's probably going to do the same this week. He's got the Redskins. Look for more.
Who's his Joe Dirt?
Mark Andrews. We talked about Nate the last 2 weeks. Mark Andrews only 4.5 in a game where they were down pretty much the whole game. So that's kind of a head scratcher. Kind of lost the momentum a little bit on Mark Andrews, but hopefully he bounces back for Tito's sake next week.
I know he's a little bum. He was questionable to even go in the game. I own him in my 2 other leagues. I got him in both leagues, and he screwed me too. Tito 1-1 had the cupcake, which was myself, but got a win in there. Also 3-1 on the year. Rupp getting split in here, going 1-1 with the 1 win over Tito. And I believe his other loss was to Edwards. I think we have already talked about it. Let's go with the dud right here. Let's go with the Joe Dirt.
All right. I've been screaming this all year long. Stephon Diggs, man, it's going to be a bumpy season. Like, even when Cousins does get it going, he's looking for Adam Thielen, not Diggs. Diggs is going to be down all year.
Yeah, only 3 catches, 15 yards. That's tough. Give me his pay dirt.
This as like Russell Wilson is obvious. Keenan Allen absolutely torched it on Sunday. Actually killed me in one league. 13 catches, 183 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What can you say, man? Huge week.
Yeah, I'm with you. Rupp 1-1. Put up a solid 240. Split. You could hope for better, but it is what it is. 2-2. I think maybe there's still some better stuff for Rupp to come. We got Matt. Let's move on to Matt. 1-1, getting his first win of the year. Congratulations. I've yet to do so. Getting that win over Birdman, and then also running into Pete with the loss. Give me your pay dirt.
Pay dirt. Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram, 38.7 points in a game where the script was negative, all but one of his touchdowns. Still pulled it out for him. 3 touchdowns in that game. Great start to the season for him.
How many first-round picks is he worth? 5? 6?
Nah, he's only worth 1.
He's killing it. He's
worth 1.
He's having a great fucking start to the year, Mark Ingram. Who's his Joe Dirt?
Emmanuel Sanders. Hey, the guy came out two weeks in a row, balled out, but he laid a dud in this one. 3 points against the Packers didn't help him.
Didn't they say like Jair Alexander was shadowing him or something like that? Is
that the new hot cornerback in the league or what?
It might be. I've heard that. Okay. I've heard that on the Twitter sphere.
So here in 2-3 years he'll be showing up to practice in a fucking Brinks truck. Is that what we got going on?
That's probably good. Oh, what am I doing over here? I hope so. All right, we're going on to our next one. We're gonna go with.
I hope so.
We're gonna go with Robbie's team. 2-0 on the week. Oh shoot! Hopefully that didn't go too loud. Oh, he's right at the top. 282.5. That's a big ass score for Robbie. I wish I would have looked up to see how that ranks on Robbie's score lists. You think that's number 1? You think that's the highest score Robbie's ever put up?
Nah, I bet he dropped 290 or something before. He might be in the 300 club. I think everyone's in the 300 club besides me.
282.5. Big ass week. Monday Night Magic. He had who was on Monday night for him? Who was it? Redskins and
Bears. He had Clinton. He had 3 people. He had Clinton Diggs for the Bears, and then he had Chris Thompson and Paul Richardson.
39.1, 16.2, 22.3 to all get it done to win by 3 freaking points. Give me your pay dirt, or go ahead, whatever.
I'll give you his pay dirt. Okay, actually, his pay dirt is the whole Chicago defense. I know I'm going a little off script here, but they set it up for him. I mean, got the game going with a pick 6. And they got so up in this game, so comfortable. They let the Redskins get a little garbage time, which Robbie absolutely needed. He got it from Chris Thompson and Paul Richardson. He was down 74.5 points going into this game with those 3 guys. I would have given him less than a 1% chance of winning this game. And Robbie pulled it out, man. I'm happy for the dude.
Yeah, give me his Joe Dirt. Who let him down?
We all get excited and anxious about our rookies. And I know he's not a rookie, he's second-year player now, but you just want these guys to develop so bad. Robbie threw him in the lineup, and he dropped a touchdown. Dallas Goedert let him down. Gave him a goose egg in this game. That makes his 282 even more amazing. But, yeah, Dallas Goedert let him down big time in this one.
Hey, is it a coincidence that Go Dirt rhymes with Joe Dirt?
Ooh.
Don't
Should we just rename it? Pay Dirts and Go Dirts?
Haters and Go Dirts. All right, you're up next, DZ. You went 1-1 on the week with your 1 win over me. You were second low points. You should have been 0-2. I let you off the hook. Give me your. Oh, which way do you want to go? Who do you want?
I don't know.
Give me the bad news. Give me the bad news.
The hardest. Okay. Calvin Ridley, 1.6 in this game after a couple of really good, nice outings to start the season. Against your Colts, dude. I mean, it's like Matt Ryan had a shit game. He had 304 yards. Julio 8, Muhammad Sanu 8, Austin Hooper 8. Calvin Ridley, 1 target in this game. I can't imagine that he was only open 1 time in this game. It's disgusting.
Who's your pay dirt?
Minkah Fitzpatrick. I mean, hey, look at my defense is so shitty, man. He's the only guy that get double digits for me in his debut for the Steelers. Had a good game, had a pick, had a forced fumble. I'm pretty excited right now. He's going to be playing free safety, no nickel corner stuff, so we're good.
All right, who else we got? The 2-0-2 teams.
Yeah,
we got
way to end the show with the bang.
All right, give me yours. I don't want to talk much about mine. Who's your pay dirt?
For who?
Me. I went 0-2. Fuck
We
it.
talked about him already, Marlon Mack. I mean, you got to be happy with what he's done with Andrew, even despite the fact that Andrew Luck retired on him.
Ty.
Quit on him. Yeah, exactly.
Right, who's your Joe Dirt for me?
John Ross. He started the season out 34.8 in week 1, 21.2 in week 2, and just absolutely dudded it up. 2.2. I guess Trey White and company is too much for him.
He played 100% of snaps. That's my silver lining last week.
Nice.
The other,
is that a silver lining?
The other, I don't know. I made it up. The other 0-2, Jerome. What do we got for Jerome here?
I mean, I could have went MBS, Valdez Scantling, but I went on the defensive side. Mario Addison got loose here a little bit. Got him 3 sacks. Anytime you see a 22 spot from a DN, I mean, I kind of want to make you pay dirt every single time since my fucking DNs can't even get fucking 10 in a game. So Mario Addison in this one.
All right, give me his Joe Dirt.
This one's going to hurt. I really hope that this doesn't bring out the fucking I told you so birds, but Kiki Kute.
Oh,
Kiki
man,
Kute.
I was thinking about we haven't even talked about this. But
Hey, listen. At the time of the trade, I mean, you could see the potential in this kid, but right now it's looking like he's taking a back seat to Kenny Stills. I think his injury really absolutely cost him this shit right here. You saw him make a trade right before the season started to kind of fill in for Kute or Kuti or Cutie or whatever the fuck you say his name. But I mean, I really hope that Jerome can just redeem himself with this first round pick that I gave him in the second round pick because I just want to fucking smack the fucking I told you so birds out the air.
That's our recaps for last week. A lot of them. Let's just knock out these previews real quick, DZ. Right now we're set up on is your matchup. I forget who you're playing this week, but right now that setup is the game of the week. I feel like you've had it every week, so I'm going to try and go away from you a little bit this week.
This week it shouldn't be me.
But we're gonna move forward. It's definitely not gonna be the first one. You got my matchup with Seward. Projected to lose by 40 right now.
That's how you know the projections are fucking wrong.
I hope. Why is this? What's the line? 50, 60?
It should be worse. That should be worse. Obviously.
I'm gonna try to make it respectable. Maybe I'll catch a miracle. Probably not.
That might push Seward over the edge. He's already been talking about quitting the league, so let's hope not.
Our next matchup, we got another one. Starting out with the 0-2. Does either of us got a chance to win? Jerome was matched up against Casey.
Yeah, Jerome showed out last week. I mean, I'm obviously going to pick Casey in this one, but I'm giving Jerome a puncher's chance here.
Okay, I also got Casey here. I hope my score with Chris is closer than Jerome's with Casey. Just because we're both 0-2. Our next matchup, we got Chris Anderson, Birdman, 2-0. So this is pretty close, within 7 points. Birdman and Tito.
Who's Mahomes playing? It doesn't matter. I got Tito. Chris Anderson relied on his defense the first 2 weeks and got exposed week 3.
I'm going to go Tito again here as well.
Ooh. Eckler Gordon situation. What do we? Is Gordon coming back this? No, he won't play this week. So this is Tito's last. Yeah. So this is Tito's last. Last hurrah with Eckler dropping fucking 25 bombs.
That could be a big shift in Tito's little what he's been doing so far.
Yeah, that's tough.
Moving on, our next matchup, we got Edwards. Oh, this is a potential game of the week here. Edwards, 3-1 against Pete, 3-1. Pete's got Danny Dimes in the lineup. He's going for it.
I like it. Dude, Pete's going to win this game, dude. I mean, Sony Michel, I really wish that Pete would just start Ronald Jones. I know he won't. That'd be great, dude. But yeah, Sony Michel sucks. Danny Dimes is going against Washington, and quarterbacks have been feasting on Washington. So I actually think Pete's got the edge at quarterback out the gate right here. First game for Daniel Jones. Pete's got the edge. Let's go.
I'm going to go Pete here. Projections are pretty wide, a little wider than I thought they were going to be. We got Robbie against Matt here. Robbie staying hot, getting another win.
Wow. Yeah, Matt, fuck Robbie's going to win this. Wow, dude. That sucks, man. I was hoping Robbie had someone tough, man. He might have first all by himself next week.
I'm going Robbie too. That brings up yours and Rupp's matchup. God damn it, you're going to get the game of the week again.
No.
Who else is there?
Pete and Edwards. That's simple. You talk about two guys.
Big spread there.
I don't give a fuck. That's two of the teams in our top 4 to start the year, and they're both 3-1.
All right, 3-1. Edwards and Pete, you're there. We got you and Rupp. How you feeling, big dog? You're projected to lose right now by like 7.
Dude, I'm in a dark place right now. I don't know what to say. I didn't show out in week 3. Rupp did. Dalvin Cook's playing the Bears. I don't know what to do, Nate. I don't think I got this one.
Dalvin Cook against the Bears is tough. I saw he just gave DK a contract. I don't know if he played him last week. Did you notice?
I think he did. And got up like 6 points or some shit. I don't remember.
DK the Rook getting a little bit of love there. I think you pull this one out. I don't know why.
Oh, I like it, man. I appreciate that, man.
I think we just got to disagree on
Was that the fucking kiss of death or what?
Probably. All right, that's our shit. We'll talk to y'all next week. The greatest EDL show ever. Good luck, everybody.
Peace.